Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be talking about the plans that we have for my Corvette, all of the modifications we're going to be doing cosmetically, performance-wise, basically the full plan that I have for this Z06. I'm kind of new to this. I love Mustangs. I've been doing Mustangs for so long. This is a new platform we're hopping onto. Today we are going to be talking about how we're going to make this car extremely fast. I've done some research. I've talked to some people. I've made a plan for this car to complete the build. So without further ado, let's dive right into this Corvette and plan out everything we're gonna do to it. Welcome back, boys. We are finally talking about the plans here. I know it's been a while. It's been about 2 months since I took delivery of the Corvette. We've done quite a lot. We've done the review, we've done the dyno numbers, we've taken it to the track, but now we're finally gonna see what the plan is, what we're gonna be doing to this car. Just like the GT500, just like the Coyote swap, just like the Cobra, I like to have a foundation, a full plan of what we're gonna do so that you have kind of an excitement of what's going on. And hey, if you're new, consider subscribing down below. Give it a big thumbs up. We're gonna be talking about this Corvette, the full platform here, how to make it fast, how to make it look good, and basically everything about this Corvette we'll discuss here today. So let's dive right into it. We'll start off with horsepower, because I know you guys love horsepower numbers here, so let's dive right into it. So when it comes to the C7 Z06, they love to make power and they like to go really fast, and it's a pretty good platform to start off with, and basic bolt-ons could get you extreme power. So when I first joined the Corvette platform here, I had no idea what to expect, what to do, who to speak with, which parts to equip, where to install, where to get tuned. So I reached out to you guys via Instagram, and I got these details that I want to share with you that's going to make this Corvette absolutely incredible. So Uncle Boost, I don't know if you know him. If not, I'm introducing you to him. He's a guy here in Southern California that specializes in these Corvettes. He's worked on a lot of guys' Corvettes that I personally know, like John, who was the drifter of my GT500, as well as a lot of guys that I've been keeping track on Instagram just through my feed. So he's the professional as well as the builder to my Corvette, because I'm so busy with that car, the Coyote swap fastback, that I barely have time to breathe, as well as the AC Cobra. So I'm not going to be performing as much modifications as I want on this Corvette. I'll do the simple stuff like exhaust and simple bolt-ons and cosmetic stuff, but when it comes to installing cams, doing the heads, which we're going to get more into detail, I'm going to leave it up to him, the professional, to do. So I hit him up, and this is what we're going to be equipping on the Corvette as a stage 2 package. Again, don't worry too much about the terminology of stage 2, stage 3, but this is going to give us about like 200 horsepower over from where we're at, which we're currently at 500 to the wheels. So without further ado, let's go through the full list, what he recommends to do on this Corvette all at once. Now let's start off with the fun ones and go down the list. All right, one of the first things that we're going to be doing here is swapping this to E85. E85 is my preferred fuel. I've ran it on the GT500. I love the results, and swapping this over to E85 is going to be one of the best things that we have here for basically all the modifications from here on out. It's a good foundation modification to have to support everything that we're going to be adding on. So E85, plentiful supply here in California. Shout out to Pearson Fuels for also sponsoring the rides here, GT500 as well as the Corvette. With this fuel alone, we could be expecting 50 to 100 horsepower over 91 octane, because 91 octane is limited with its performance, but E85 is 105 octane. Between 105, you could even get up to 108 octane, which is unbelievable. Very close to race fuel, which is only 110 octane. It's either 110 or 115, don't quote me on that, but E85 is going to be the best available fuel for daily driving and street tuning for this car. So there is a kit here I'll put on the screen that we have here specifically made for the C7 Corvettes to convert to E85 and get the most horsepower out of it. The next thing we're going to get is a very popular modification, and one of the first things I have here is long tube headers and the off-road X-Pipe. So this currently has the catalytic converters. That's going to drain about 10 to 20 horsepower. Simply by cutting those off, you'll gain that 10 to 20 back, but long tube headers is going to maximize the airflow and gain the most horsepower. It's going to make it extremely loud as well. I also have the axle backs, the black diamond axle backs from AWE that I'm super excited to equip here. It has been on back order for about 2 months now. I'm still waiting for the mufflers to come in, but my full exhaust system on the Corvette is going to be long tube headers. I don't know if I'm going with American Racing, which I had on the GT500. I absolutely love those long tube headers. Great quality, great sound, great performance overall. So off-road X-Pipe with the Black Diamond Touring to Track Edition. So basically 2 different mufflers. One's going to be a straight pipe. That's the Track Edition. And then we have the mufflers, which is going to be the Touring Edition, which should be a simple 5-minute bolt-on to swap those 2 out. Pretty cool. I'll go more into depth here with another video, but that's essentially going to be my full exhaust system on the Corvette, and you need this exhaust system to get the most horsepower. So long tube headers all the way to the X-Pack is a must when you want to make big power. Now let's talk about the next thing that Corvettes absolutely love, and that's a camshaft, and probably what you are wanting to do, that Lopey idle. I've been doing some research here all around with Corvettes. I love the way that they chop. I love the way that they sound. It just gets me going so much. I have the AC Cobra with the cam. I had the GT500 with the cam. I had the 2008 Mustang GT, aka Sally, with a cam, and now we're going to be putting this one with a cam. The fastback also have cams in it. However, it's not going to chop like an LS. It's going to be able to rev up to 8,700 RPM. 85 to 8,700 RPM. So those are specialty cams. They're not going to chop. They're just made for more horsepower, more RPMs. This one is specifically going to have that chop, which is going to be very, very nice. So this is the cam that we're going with, and obviously there's more cams that you could go with, different companies that you could go with as well. I'm only telling you my specific cam that I'll be equipping on my Corvette that was recommended by Uncle Boost, and that is the BTR Gen 5 cam kit. So it's the cam along with the kit, all the supporting mods that you need with it. The reason why we're going with the Gen 2 is because, number one, this is an automatic, and number two, this is a daily driver street car. So there's the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 2, why did we go with that? Number one, because the automatic transmission that's equipped on here will allow that cam to actually be drivable. With the stage 3 cam, you do need to upgrade your torque converter and do a lot of other supporting mods, as well as when you stop your car at like a red light or stop sign, the car will not stop. It'll keep on wanting to go an inch forward, and makes the driving experience very irritating, especially if you daily drive it. But because I'm a daily driver and because I have the stock transmission, I'm going with the stage 2 cam, which is going to give us a big horsepower gain. It's going to allow me to drive this thing every single day, as well as, even though I have the stage 2 cam, I'm still not going to be able to get the most horsepower until we go to like a stage 3 with the ported supercharger, the ported heads, built heads, etc, etc. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that. That will be on another video. So stage 2 is the best cam for my setup, being a daily driver and being a street car on a stock transmission. So that's currently the camshaft that I'm going with. Of course, there are better camshafts, but this fits my build the best, and that's what we're going for. Now, on top of all these modifications, there are little supporting mods that we'll be doing on top of that, because we're going to be inside the motor, and why not install what's needed as like an insurance, kind of to keep the motor healthy, to keep the motor strong. I'm going to put everything here that Uncle Boost recommends that I do while we're at it, while we have the engine open, so that we don't run into any issues in the future. We don't run into any catastrophic issues. That's going to be really bad if it does happen. Now, we are going to be increasing the power on this supercharger, and increasing power is very easy. All you have to do is make the supercharger pulley smaller, and there's an upper pulley as well as a lower pulley, the crank pulley and the supercharger pulley, that you can make smaller to get more power. So we got the API damper, which is going to be the crank pulley, make that smaller, faster rotational mass, causing the supercharger to spin even faster, as well as we're going to be lowering the supercharger pulley as well to make the supercharger spin faster, increasing the boost, making more power. So that's also what we're going to be doing on top of the modifications that we already have. And the last but certainly not least modification that we're going to be doing on these Corvettes is fixing an issue that really hurts these cars, and that is overheating. Because of the way it's designed, the airflow doesn't really reach that much. It's supercharger, so the supercharger is packed on top of the the hot motor, everything just gets hot really quick. We need to cool this thing down, and getting an expansion tank is what Uncle Boost recommended here that we get on the Corvette, because that is going to increase the cooling on this Corvette. I've also was thinking about getting the ZR1 upgrades. That involves getting the ZR1 front bumper, as well as the larger intercooler, the heat exchanger, the radiator. Everything involves getting more airflow. I don't know about getting a ZR1 front bumper on the Z06, because that's kind of like getting a GT500 on a GT. I don't want to be one of those guys rocking a ZR1 fascia on top of a Z06, so I'm not entirely sure just quite yet, but I definitely need cooling, and this expansion tank is going to be one of the modifications that's going to be needed to get this thing cold and not overheat. Now, when we increase airflow, cold air intake is going to be one of the modifications we're going to need to, as like a basic bolt-on. Every single car modification, at least one of the first beginner ones, is getting a larger cold air intake to increase the airflow on the motor. So I do have some recommendations with cold air intakes. You could honestly go with whatever cold air intake you desire. There's lots of different brands, lots of different reputable brands that you can go with. This is what I'm going with. Of course, you're going to need a tune, which we'll talk about next. Now, when it comes to tuning these cars, I don't know too much about it. You can go to a tuner, they'll tune it all for you. You could do it remotely, which is basically the street tune. You tune it on the street, or you could rent a dyno and get it remote tuned. So there's 3 different variations that you could go with to tune this car. I don't know any type of tuners at all, but I did ask Uncle Boost, of course, ask the professionals what they recommended, and I want you to comment down below, especially if you know anybody that's really reputable in tuning, most likely remotely tuning, or if you know anybody in California, Southern California to be exact. Let me know, because I'm still trying to find the best tuner on these Corvettes, because with all these modifications, you need a computer tune to tie everything together to get the most horsepower out. So that's going to be the final piece that we do to get this Corvette to 700 rear wheel horsepower, which is the overall goal that I hope to go with this Corvette. 500 to 700 with the stage 2, stage 1 package, whatever you want to do. It's definitely not stage 3, because there's a lot more we could do by porting the supercharger, building the heads, going turbocharger. That's going to be our stage 3. That'll be our next one that we go into moving on forward. However, this stage 2, stage 1, this next level we're going to is going to be pretty badass and increase the horsepower a lot and make this thing absolutely fast. 3,400 pounds with all these modifications, it's going to be a very fast car. So that is what we're doing here on the Z06. That is what I'm trying to get all the parts so that we could go to Uncle Boost to install it all and completely transform this Corvette. And a little teaser, I do plan on spitting flames here with a different kit that's completely separate, doesn't have to do with the full Corvette and the performance mods that we're doing, but on top of the modifications, exiting flames out of the exhaust tips is very possible with a simple kit, a spark plug, and a delay of your spark plugs that will spit out massive 10 to 15 foot flames. And I plan on doing that very shortly, along with my sponsor as well, Dragon Breath, who we actually made a pretty cool video, went like 22 million views on YouTube. So I'll be shooting flames on this car as well. Now that we talk about performance mods, let's talk about cosmetic mods, which honestly this Corvette does not need a lot of. There are some things that caught my eye that we could do, and that's going to be wheels, rear diffuser, and a wing. That's literally all this car needs. When it comes to wheels, I'm not entirely sure what I like or what I should go with. That's what I need your help for. To comment down below, what wheels do you think look best on these cars? There are weld wheels, there's the Vossen, there's the HREs, there's literally so many different brands that you could go with. So I am looking to get some custom wheels on this Corvette to make it even more badass. Now with the rear, you could do a lot with the rear. The 2 things that I absolutely love is going to be the big old wing in the back that you could see here, as well as the rear diffusers to make it even more aggressive, along with also blacking out the side markers and the side reflectors, the rear reflectors as well. With all of that, the big wing, the rear diffuser, as well as some new wheels, that's all this Corvette needs to make it look so good. It's a very simple car to modify and very easy to increase the horsepower, and I'm super happy to dive into this platform and get into it. It's getting kind of dark here, so I am going to end this video, guys. Thank you so much for listening to my plan. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you think, as well as give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe while you're at it. I want to know all your thoughts and opinions on this Corvette, what we should do, as well as what you think we should do here on the channel. What you want to see ultimately is what I'm shooting for, because I want to make this Corvette the baddest Corvette that anybody has seen. And with all that being said and done, I'm super excited to get into this. I'll let you guys know in the future videos when we're going to be diving into this. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe once more. Appreciate all the love and support. More videos to come. Deuces.